The other day we talked about how in Psalm 46 verse 10, be still and know that I am God, and how knowing God actually decreases the psychic noise within our souls, and how we quiet down on the inside, and we get to a more peaceful place in life. And welcome to this morning's jolt. And I was just thinking of the opposite of that, because it is actually possible for me to be a believer who is filled with this psychic noise, who is stuffed with these questions, and I don't know if you ever spent time with a believer like that. Maybe you have, like a believer who is all about themselves. They will just talk to you about their accomplishments, their thoughts, their wounds, their interests, their struggles, their this, their that, their, like just everything. Okay, so I don't know, maybe you're bothered by a personality like that. That's possible, but that's not what I'm talking about, okay? Because that's not so interesting. We could be bothered by many personalities who are not like we are, or maybe we are bothered by them because they are like we are, and that's maybe even more, that's maybe even more aggravating. But I can still love someone who I'm bothered by. That's not the point that I'm talking about here. But what I am talking about is that it's really tragic, especially if it is a believer of many years, because they also could be quiet in their hearts. They also could have found the quietness from self, and they could be occupied with the Lord in their lives. There are those verses in Galatians 4, 8, and 9, and yeah, they are not specifically about this, but they are maybe like a good line to express this. When you did not know God, you did service to those things which by nature are no gods, which means that we served other things that didn't have, divinity. But now, after that you have known God, or rather are known of God, how do you turn again to the weak and beggarly elements to which you want to be in bondage? And of course he talks about the law and elements of the law, but think about this. One weak and beggarly element is really like, I don't know, my interests, and then I don't know, God is not in my interest group because I am interested in, I don't know, nature or flowers or bugs or science or whatever, I'm music, whatever. God is not in it. And that's a weak thing in life, like the stuff that is mine. How about my wounds, and how about my struggles? And those are weak things in my life. In my heart, I could be struggling within myself, or I could be quiet from myself by knowing the Lord more and more in life as life goes on. If I am a believer like that, then you can be with me, but you won't have fellowship with me, because it's gonna start with me, and it's gonna go a nice little circle, and it's gonna end with me again, and you cannot fellowship with me. Not because you cannot be in the circle, because you could be in the circle, but when we believers fellowship, we want to be focused on the Lord. Because if we are focused on the Lord, then we have real fellowship. Then that's the Holy Spirit ministering to us. And the tragedy of it is really that their lives, that my life, if I'm a believer like that, God forbid, then my life could be so different. It could be not about me. It could be, I was thinking of this verse in Psalm 95 verse 6. Oh, come, let us worship and bow down. Let us kneel before the Lord our Maker. Like, my life could be like that. My life could be like that I meet my brother or my sister and we say, hey, let's worship before the Lord. Let's kneel down before Him in our hearts. And we don't have to kneel down, but as we talk, there is honor, there is respect, there is a marvel at His beauty, there is expression of His works, there is rejoicing in His faithfulness. And that would be a different life. But God forbid I can be like this also. But God forbid that we would be like that, because we don't have to. Learning who the Lord is and how He is such a marvelous thing for our hearts, because there our souls get quiet from ourselves and we are released and our lives are so free. Trust that that's a blessing for you as much as for me, and have an awesome day with God.